Getting done, bro.
I was thinking like maybe a half to a 1 or a 1.5 to a natural line,
Okay.
like a fade. The top can just be trimmed up a little bit.
Okay, so half to 1.5, and then fade it into the top.
Yeah,
Trim,
to the natural line or
How
whatever.
do you style the top usually? Just
Usually
kinda put
straight up. Like it usually goes straight up. It's probably too heavy to stand up right now.
Yeah, and then the sideburns. Do you want to fade the sideburns out, or do you want to?
What do you mean fade them out?
So like taper them out so there's no sideburns and it kind of just blends in.
Yeah, probably. That's what I think. Yeah.
Perez's coaching, yes, please, yes. All right, cool. Let's do it.
What's going on, guys? So this haircut tutorial is with an individual that I vlogged about. Let me know in the comments if you watched the vlog. He is one of the world's best NBA 2K players. I know there's some 2K fans in here. And what he explained to me he wanted was kind of like a textured dry quiff look, right? Where the hair comes forward but it's long in front and he just kind of has some volume in the front. So what I did was I created my first guideline in the middle of his head and created that shape where it was longer in the front and a little bit shorter in the back. And then we use that as our guideline, little by little, taking sections to match it to that first guideline. And we're gonna do this on both sides. Once we've done that, we'll take sections the opposite direction and cross check it. Now we're doing the left side of his head, or the right side of his head. Sorry. And then we'll cross check that side. So here we're taking vertical sections, vertical to his head, or horizontal to me, and then we'll take horizontal sections to make sure everything's nice and even, as you can see here. Once we've done that, we got a nice even cut with the shape that we were looking for. We need to connect some of the hair to the sides, and so that's what we're going to do here. Taking vertical sections. You could do block graduation if you prefer that, but in this instance I'm going to take vertical sections. Here, if you notice, his hair growth pattern is kind of going diagonal, going kind of like cross. So we're taking cross sections here instead, cutting the hair to it to complement his natural hair growth pattern. We don't want to fight that. That's just gonna allow it to lay nicer when, you know, whether he has product in there or not. And then what I did here for the fringe area is I want more volume and I wanted more texture, so I used a razor to cut that area even, and also to add texture and thin the hair out so that it had more volume once it was blow dried, regardless if he had product or not. Alright, and once we've completed the top, we blow dry his hair, and we'll start our first guideline. This is with the blade all the way open. We're going to give him a shadow fade. And what he explained to me is he wants, you know, like a 2.5 or a 2, even a 1.5 up to the parietal ridge. And I'm not going to do a 1.5 just because it doesn't give as much gradient. But we're going to bring like a 2 open all the way up to that parietal ridge. Because from the blade open that we're using now to that 2 open, it's going to give just enough gradients to where that it's going to look faded. You know what I mean? Next step is going to be my number 1 guard open. And right underneath that, we're going to use the half guard, and we're going to close it as needed until that initial guideline we created with the blade open is gone. And you can see how it's coming together. I'm gonna do the same thing on this side. This area right here was looking like it was staying dark. He has an indent there, so we went a little bit shorter and closed that half guard in that area. So now I have my number 3 guard, and I'm going a little bit above the parietal ridge because I'm trying to debulk and prepare it so that the 2 guard will blend right in and not create any disconnection from the shear work that I did in this area. But you want to make sure you come off the head, not into all that shear work you did. You can see how I kind of lift the clipper up as I go above the parietal ridge. And then right at the parietal ridge, we'll be at a 2 open or a 2 closed. Like you can see, this is a 2 closed, and right beneath that is the 1.5 guard, and we're closing it. Now we'll close this some more. And it's still going to be dark in that area where we're working. And that's where we grab the 1 guard all the way open and close it as needed until we've created as good a transition as we can create. No, it's hard to create a gradient fade with lighter hair like his, especially since he wants like since we're doing a blade open to a 1.5 2 guard at the parietal ridge, right? Like here we had the 2 guard, right beneath that we're gonna have the 1.5 guard, and that's why a ball fade on him would look so much more gradient, but he wanted a shadow fade. So what I did to convince him to try to get as much of a gradient as possible is I convinced him, me and Perez got in his ear about tapering the sides and the back. And so that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna taper the sides and the back just to give him the best of both worlds. He wanted some hair on the side of his head where you can line up above the ear and everything, but we're gonna get that gradient look that the barber wants to give with the taper. And I just think it's gonna grow back much better that way. You won't have like a square sideburn that grows out in a couple days, right? At this point, I was just kind of jumping back and forth and detailing before we place that taper on him. All right, and here we go. So we know we're blade open in this area. So we're gonna start with the blade open and close it little by little until it's tapered. Now we're gonna bald out the hair, really simple at this stage of the cut to taper him out. Now I'm gonna grab the trimmers and bald it out. Doing a little bit of detail. Alright, and then we taper out the back. I'm gonna bald him out first in the back, and we're gonna do the same steps to taper the back, the neck taper. Notice I'm using the shaver to get this as tight as possible. And this time we're gonna close it and open little by little as we go up until the blade is all the way open and it's blended. But yeah, guys, if you have not watched the vlog where he kind of puts us on game, man. This dude has a career. He works for the Brooklyn Nets. They drafted him. He's on payroll. They pay for his housing, and he gets 100% access to the facility. He showed me his key card so that he can get into the arena whenever he wants. He lives in Brooklyn. He gets paid to play NBA 2K. And paid well. He gets sponsorships, like it's crazy. And so I wanted to see how good he was. Cause I ain't never lost to nobody at the shop. Now granted, I haven't played in a while, but usually I could just pick up the sticks and I'm competitive. Y'all gotta watch this video. I'm gonna put the link of the vlog in the description. Y'all gotta watch this video. This man is a monster. Like, I played against NBA talent basketball players, and the difference between a college athlete and an NBA athlete is night and day. The difference between a rec league player and an NBA player is astronomical. That's how this 2K life is. Alright, so we're lining him up, and we're not expecting it to get the sharpest, lineup ever, because his hair is so light. But it's still gonna look clean, and then when we put the razor on, it looks clean. But right now, the cut is looking nice to me. I think the taper was a nice touch. He's got that texture there in the fringe area. We get a little light line up there, right? A little something. Enough to show people, whoever cut his hair knew what he was doing. Alright, and with how light his hair is, you definitely gotta put the razor all the way around. Make sure you get any hair stubble or anything like that off. Because the contrast between his skin and the hair is all you got really to show that line, and his hair is so light, it's hard to do that if you don't use the razor. And so I think the razor made a world of difference. That thing looking clean, man. Alright, and now we're gonna add some product. He told me afterwards he doesn't use product, so I probably shouldn't have. I should just blow dry his hair. But we're gonna add some indestructible clay, Tomb 45. Legendary product that no longer exists. Seemed like everybody wants it now. It was a slow seller. I'm not gonna say it was a horrible seller. It was just a slow seller. But now it's just like, when a rapper passes, everybody want to consume the music now. So we do plan on coming back out with indestructible clay. It's just not right now with all the craziness that's going on. It's definitely made it harder to focus on that. But look at the cut, man. The texture's coming in with the clay. The volume is there in the front. The blend is blurry. The taper looks good. So he goes by the name Chalk. This is his before he sat in my chair and this is the after, guys. Yo, shout out to Chalk for sitting in my chair, man, and playing your boy in 2K. If you like the cut, guys, let me know in the comment section below. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and don't forget to check out that vlog, man, where let's just say there was a massacre. Y'all have a good day. Take care. See you on the next video.